Welcome to Yisrael Ministries, New England, where the chosen of the Most High dwell, within Yahshua Ha'Mashiach. We know who we are, we believe in who He made us to be, and we are rising from the ashes. Today's Sabbath message is called Release Me. Release Me. As we get closer to the 400-year mark, there are some that are still in prison, some still in bondage, some trapped in wickedness, some still trapped in the dungeon, awaiting the guard to unlock the door. I'm going to use a few examples, starting with Joseph. We all know Joseph's story. He was set up by his brothers, sold into slavery, then accused of rape, and thrown into jail. But although it seemed like the visions he had seen were amiss, Yah used his very captivity to save his people. Joseph gained favor while in prison, which goes to show, even in your worst situation, Yah can use you like He used Daniel to be an example to King Nebuchadnezzar and to King Cyrus. Genesis 41:14 says, "And Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they rushed him from the dungeon. And he shaved and changed his clothes, and he came unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is no one to interpret it. And I have heard about you, saying you hear a dream to interpret it." The things Joseph was doing while in captivity, while in prison, was being heard even by the Pharaoh. Joseph was eventually released from prison and made governor of all of Egypt. Genesis 49:38. And Pharaoh said to his servants, "Can we find any man like this, in whom the spirit of Elohim is in?" And Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Since Elohim has taught you all of this, there is no one wise and intelligent like you. You shall be over my house, and at your mouth shall be ordered all my people. Only in respect to the throne will I be greater than you." And Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Behold, I have set you over all the land of Egypt." And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it on the hand of Joseph. And he clothed him with fine linen robes, and put a golden chain on his neck. And he caused him to ride in the chariot, which was the second to him. And they cried before him, "Bow the knee," and he put him over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, "I am Pharaoh, and without a word from you, not a man shall lift his hand or his foot in all the land of Egypt." In other words, nothing moved without Joseph. Nothing moved at all unless Joseph knew about it. When Yah blesses you in your place of captivity, all will know you have been released. Released from the prison, released from the bondage, released from the spiritual fight that you gained the victory over, due to your faith, due to your obedience, due to your determination to stay loyal to the Most High. Joseph was able to not only save Egypt from the famine, but also many other people, including his family. Are you spreading the truth to those in the land of your captivity? Are you treating those in prison with you like trash? Or are you showing them the love of Yah? Are you helping your brothers and your sisters to be released from the lies of the enemy? Or are you letting them go through the wilderness alone? Are you watching your people starve in the famine? Or are you helping to feed them physically and spiritually? Psalms 81:10-14 says, "I am Yahweh, your Elohim, who brought you out from the land of Egypt. Open your mouth wide and I will fill it. But my people would not listen to my voice, and Israel did not consent to me. So I gave them up to the stubbornness of their own hearts. They walked in their own counsels. Oh, if my people were hearing me, if Israel were walking my ways, I would subdue their enemies in a little while, and I would turn my hand against their foes." Don't hold your tongue while in captivity. Open it up, Israel, and speak what Yah gives to you. Don't let your Ak or your Akkadi fall in the ditch. You who know the word of truth, go get them, release them. The Father said all you have to do is listen, and He will be your God. He will subdue your enemies, and He will take down all of your foes. Judges 6:8 says, Yahweh sent a man, a prophet, to the sons of Israel. And he said to them, so says Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, I have brought you up out of Egypt, and I have brought you out from a house of slaves, and I have delivered you out the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of all your oppressors, and I have driven them out before you, and I have given you their land. First thing it says is Yah sent a man. Do you feel called? Has he sent you to somebody and you haven't spoken what he gave you? Second, he sent him to his people Israel. Are you sharing the word of the Most High to his people? One plants, one waters, but Yah gives the increase. Yeshua said, I came but to the Lord's sheep of the house of Israel. You are now empowered to go to the Lord's sheep of the house of Israel and inform them of who they are and how Yah is coming to release us. The same way he came out the first time is the same way we will come out again. The same way we came out the first time is the same way we will come out again. In great wealth, conquerors, walking with our head held high, while the oppressors watch in shame. We are the children of Israel. Release me. 1 Samuel 10:18 says, and he said to the sons of Israel, so says Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, I caused Israel to go up from Egypt, and delivered you from the hand of the Egyptians, and from the hand of all the kingdoms who oppressed you. Our people were not only delivered from the first Egypt, but we were scattered to multiple places, many islands, North America, South America. We're everywhere, and the gathering is coming. Yah's chosen people will be released and returned. How do we know this? Because he said it. Deuteronomy 28:64, and Yahweh shall scatter you among all people, from one end of the earth even to the other, and you shall serve other gods there, wood and stone, which you have not known, nor your fathers. But wait on it. Exodus 6:6. Therefore, say to the sons of Israel, I am Yahweh, and I will bring you out from the burdens of Egypt, and I will deliver you from their slavery, and I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and with great judgments. And I will take you for myself for a people, and I will be your Elohim, and you shall know that I am Yahweh your Elohim, the one bringing you out from under the burdens of Egypt. And I will bring you into the land which I raised my hand to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, and I will give it to you for a possession. I am Yahweh. Hallelujah. See, we came out of Egypt the first time, out of the 430 years, and then we're coming out of the spiritual Egypt again, out of the 400 years. The Most High has made us a promise that cannot be broken by anybody but ourselves. Let's look at Samson, for instance. Strong, dark-skinned Hebrew ox, long locks, diesel, raised to serve the Most High, but loved the woman, especially foreign ones. Samson could not stay focused long enough to fully complete the mission set before him. Therefore, he was trapped and weakened by the very one he had no business being with. Sound familiar? Samson had his locks cut, his power drained, his pride stolen, and his eyes put out due to what he wouldn't stop looking at. When you place your will before the will of the Father, after he has given you a task, you risk losing everything. Samson was now blind, broke, homeless, stuck in a prison with a death sentence. Judges 16:25 says, and it happened when their heart felt good. They said, call for Samson, and he shall entertain us. And they called for Samson from the prison house, and he entertained them, and they made him stand between the pillars. And Samson said to the young man grasping his hand, let me alone, and let me feel the pillars on which the house rests, that I may lean on them. And the house was full of men and women, and all the Philistines' rulers were there, and about 3,000 men and women were on the roof watching Samson entertaining. And Samson called to Yahweh and said, oh Elohim, Yahweh, remember me, I pray, and please make me strong only this time, O Elohim, and I shall be avenged with one vengeance on the Philistines because of my 2 eyes. And Samson grasped the 2 middle pillars on which the house rested, and on which it was supported, one with his right hand and one with his left. And Samson said, let my soul die with the Philistines. And he bowed mightily and the house fell on the rulers and all the people who were in it, and the dead that he killed in this house, the death were more than those he killed in his life. Today we have Hebrews that have done great things for our people, that have made great strides in the battle for freedom, but have not known the truth. They died not knowing who they really were, or knowing how much of a difference they have made. Samson killed more people in his death, which means he was distracted in his life. It says Samson killed more people in his death, which means he was distracted in his life. Don't get distracted by the ways of the world. There are people waiting for you to come and release them. Psalms 83, 1-4 says, O Elohim, do not keep silent to yourself. Do not be speechless. Yea, do not be still, O Yah. For lo, your enemies are roaring, and those who hate you have lifted up their head. They take shrewd counsel against your people. They plot against your hidden ones. They plot against your hidden ones. They plot against your hidden ones. They have said, come, and we will cut them off from being a nation, and that the name of Israel will not be recalled again. For they have conspired together with one heart. They have cut a covenant against you, against Israel. While our people are sleeping, the enemy is conspiring against them to sift them like wheat. Don't let this happen. Don't let your family members not see the truth live through you. Don't go on one more day without sharing the truth to one of your brothers or your sisters, your ox or your kotis. Ezra 7:26 says, and whoever will not do the law of your Elohim and the law of the king, let judgment be executed diligently on him, whether to death or for banishment or to confiscation of goods or imprisonment. Blessed be Yahweh, the Elohim of our fathers, who has put this in the king's heart to beautify the house of Yahweh in Jerusalem. And he has extended mercy to me before the king and his counselors and before all the king's mighty leaders. And I was made strong as the hand of Yahweh my Elohim was on me. And I gathered out of Israel chief men to go with me. Don't be selfish. Go get your brother. Go get your sister. Plant the seed of truth. Let them see the Most High through you and why they need to change. Release them. We are in the final days, and the dry bones are taking on skin. We not only have brothers and sisters out here who need to hear the truth and be released, we also have brothers and sisters in prison who still don't know who they are and don't have anyone to come tell them. Christian evangelists, rabbis, and even Spanish pastors go to the prisons to teach the doctrine, but who is going to tell Israel who they really are and how to follow the Most High in the spirit of truth? Isaiah 42, 22-23 says, but it is a people robbed and spoiled. They shall all be snared in holes. They were hidden in prison houses. They were for spoil, and no one delivers, a prey, and no one says, return. Who among you will give ear to this, will listen and hear for the time to come? My brothers, my sisters, this is the time to come. Who will listen? Who will hear? Our people need to know who they are. They need to know about the transatlantic slave trade and how we were brought over here in slave ships. They need to know of the curses in Deuteronomy for our disobedience. They need to know it was us in the first Egypt for 430 years. They need to know it was us who escaped after the siege in 70 AD and fled into West Africa and other parts of the world. They need to know it was us captured and sold into slavery. They need to know how millions of our people died, not only in the passage over, but by the hands of racist savages. They need to know we still had people on the other side of the world that are family. Amos 9, 7-8 says, are you not like the sons of the Ethiopians to me, O sons of Israel, declares Yahweh? Have I not brought Israel up out of the land of Egypt, and the Philistines from Caphtar, and the Syrians from Ker? Behold, the eyes of Elohim Yahweh are on the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from the face of the earth. Only that I will not completely destroy the house of Jacob, declares Yahweh. We became slaves in America in 1619, and in 2019, 400 years will be up. I'm not claiming to know exactly what will happen, but the wheels are in motion, and our people need to be released. Release me. Genesis 15:13-14 says, and he said to Abram, surely you must know that your seed shall be an alien in a land not theirs, and they shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And I also will judge the nation whom they shall serve, and afterward they shall come out with great substance. Do you hear what he said in verse 14? I also will judge the nation whom they shall serve, and afterward they shall come out with great substance. Judgment is coming. I know if you're following the Most High, you're coming out. You're going to be released, but you can't come out alone. Go get your brother. Go speak the truth. Make way to go into the prisons. Send literature into the prisons. Get the message out, because Yahshua Ha'Mashiach is coming for the remnant of those who honor his Father. You have been forewarned before the great terrible days come upon us. Yah is awakening Israel in these last days. The dry bones are coming together, and the body is recognizable. Don't lose your crown due to a technicality. Open your eyes, open your ears, but most of all, open your heart. And for those listening who are engrafted in, I say shalom to you. Let your light shine, and your knowledge of the truth spread forth. Release me. Our people need to be released. There are people out there right now waiting for a release. What are you going to do? Are you going to stand there on the sidelines and watch the game go on? Or are you going to stand and fight for what the Father has given you? It's time for stop playing. It's time to stop playing church. It's time to stop sitting in the pews. It's time to stop holding in the truth. Let it out while you're able to. Let your gift make room for you. And what the Father tells you to do, make sure you open your mouth and get to moving and do it. Release me. Release your brothers. They're out there. They're in bondage. They're in spiritual bondage. They're in wickedness. There's some that are just confused, and they need to know who they are. They need to know their identity. They need to know who the Father is. They need to know who the Most High, Yahshua Ha'Mashiach, is. They need to know the Father's name. Need to know Psalms 68:4. They need to know Yahweh. They need to know the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit. They need to know Yahshua Ha'Mashiach, the King, the Son, the risen Messiah. Release me. This is Yosef ben Yisrael, aka Minister Whisper, for B'nai Israel Ministries. Hallelujah. We're the chosen of the Most High dwell within Yahshua HaMashiach. We know who we are. We believe in who he made us to be. And we are rising from the ashes. Shalom.
Brand new banger. Exclusive on the new mix. Let's go.
Dark clay, Adam the man, my rib chosen. Death from the bite of a fruit, my jaw swollen. Banished from the land of my youth, I'm now homeless. Came back by some of the rock, he's now falling. Cursed from the sweat of his bow, he's in famine. Seth brought the people to Yah, we understanding. Angels laying doubling up, I see giants. Enoch brought the word of the Father, they non-compliant. Noah started building the boat, the world's ending. They in the club, twerking it up, won't stop sinning. Him making fun of his father, he seen him naked. Comes his son now, he's a servant to all the bacon. Nimrod building a tower, he's full of babble. His people thrown down to the ground, they chewing gravel. Scattered to the ends of the earth, we speak English. My dialect, chosen by Yah, he's not finished. And the sovereign of the children of Israel, who lived in Mitzrayim, was 430 years. And it came to be at the end of the 430 years, on that same day, it came to be that all the division of Yah went out from the land of Mitzrayim. But Yah's coming, baby. Abraham chosen by Yah, he stayed hidden. The prophecies hardened the king, he had feelings. Left his dad, went to a land he been promised. But Lot went to Sodom and Gomorrah, they not honest. Yeshua came talking to Sarah before the judgment. She laughed at him, promising Isaac was still coming. They tried to rid the angels in Sodom, they all killers. Ishmael left in the desert with salt pillars. The twins fighting Jacob his name. They changed to Israel with your tribe. He had that something that's more imperial. Joseph had some colorful dreams, his eyes hated. They sold him into slavery, Potiphar's wife elated. Jacob moved to Goshen, the Israelites now with family. 430 years in the slammer with no morality. When Moses come, my people be free. Until the later day, 400 more years being brave but free slave. And he said to Abraham, surely you must know that your seed shall be an alien in a land that's not theirs. And they shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And I also will judge the nation whom they shall serve. And afterward they shall come out with great substance.
When it feels like you can't go home, just keep your head so strong. Just live your life to the end.
To the end, my friend, to the end.
Just be